It should start shortly on YouTube. I don't know why it lagged, but it looks like it should be in a minute. But we're here for now. I don't know what's going on. Just goes to show you, everything's been going nuts. My internet keeps going in and out. Although, remarkably for the streams, it's been fantastic. But all day it's been like on and off. So I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to broadcast tonight. Uh, but But yeah, the song you heard, we're going to just go back to the show, whatever this is, right? We're at number 25, right? 25? Yeah, there you go. Diary, deviation, adaptation, evolution, the end. I don't know what that means. Oh, it looks like we're live on YouTube as well. Um, Sorry about that. You missed some stuff. I'll have to re-upload that maybe. But So yeah, that first song was from the Diary's second album, and a question that I used to get a lot was, why the hell did you start the Diary in the first place? Why does that even exist? Um, since I had a box, what reason would I have to do a side project, right? Um, and in actuality, it started a lot earlier. It started in '89 when we first moved to California, and it was just something I wanted to do. I just wanted to do something a little more gothy and post punkish, I guess. And But I actually didn't record anything under the Diary officially until 90. The end of '93 is when all the demos started, and then I knew I was going to do page one. Um, and I think I have a picture, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. But let's see. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's page one. Um, and yeah, those little notes are for myself, but what the heck, you can see them too. The computer as collaborator, digital art, font design, all that good stuff. Well, what happened was when someone said it looks like Mason symbols, it's not. They're electrical symbols, but they might as well be Mason symbols because everything can be attributed to Masonic symbols. Um, but No, they're actually electronic diagrams. So around that time that I got into doing that first diary album, it was actually one of the first times that I discovered computer art, and that's when the computer was starting to be this device that I saw as a collaborator. So even though I wasn't making music on the computer yet, it was the beginning of my collaboration with the computer. So a lot of the artwork for the diary started there. That was my first layout. Not the best, but it was my first. I think that was the first time I ever used Illustrator, Photoshop, all that stuff was back in '93, '94. But Yeah, the diary was a reaction to things I was going through at the time, which was we'd come back from Germany. I'd recorded Hope. We thought Hope was going to be the one. And then I think you remember me telling you that we lost our agency and we fired the label and all this crazy stuff happened. So I found myself doing this, which is kind of like what we're doing now, which is why it's kind of interesting. It's that downtime which I didn't know what to do with. So I dug out these old demos and I thought, I think it's time to record these songs finally. And the approach was different. Um, but I'll play one of them because we're just gonna take a little bit from each album and we'll talk about them. They're all very different. But this particular song, I picked this one because it tends to be a favorite of a lot of people from the diary, but it's not the common favorite, I don't think. But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, I will. Let's see. What are we gonna put on for visuals here? I don't know that I set anything up for visuals. Did I? Uh oh. We can use the one from Worth. Sorry, but this song is called Interleave. To answer Mikey's question that I just saw, no, this is not from Jersey, but it's obviously, that influence that we had. Um, and I think I mentioned this before. There was a band in New Jersey that I liked a lot called Bellas Artes that was a little influential on this record too, which I really like them, and they wound up not, you know. So I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. I would have loved to have been the lead singer in that band. And then maybe these songs would sound different, but who knows? But a shout out to Eric, Michael. Let's see who else I got here. Taz, Alex, Randall, Lalo, uh, Mai, Gloria, Pedro, Steven, of course, Steve, Erica, all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So that first Diary album was it was also rough because obviously I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I knew we weren't going to tour on it. That wasn't going to happen. And I knew that without a proper band, meaning, guitars, bass, drums, that kind of thing, that it wasn't going to really work. Like, you can't just show up with keyboards and think it's going to, go over. So it was one of those records. You do it and you do what you can with it. And what I loved, though, was that it got me into the design aspect of things. So from there on, I got even more involved in covers and designing fonts and things like that, which, and it may seem silly, but I designed the font that's on the cover and all that. So I got into that a lot, a lot. But yeah, it was an album that was basically reflecting inner turmoil and really weird things that were happening with my relationships when I came back from Germany, with friends, everybody, basically. So it's a bit of a darker album. But a shout out, by the way, to Hidden Souls, Argentina. Thank you for that comment. It means a lot to me, too, that you liked it. That record, the first one, is special to me. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll when I say one day, it could be like, who knows if it'll ever happen, but we can pretend. But maybe one day I'll be able to do one performance as the Diary with a band. That would be cool. Um, uh, well, I'm going to play another one from page 1, and then we'll move on to other things. But wait, did I put it in here? No, I did not. Okay, cool. Because I'm dumb that way, and I didn't do it. Okay. But I'm going to play another one. So it's an interesting side story here, but if you know the Peace album and you know the song "I Felt the Pain," I believe that on that album, that was the first time you actually hear me scream a vocal, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I have to tell you that when the record company heard that, they wanted more songs like that. They wanted songs where I was screaming more than I was really singing, because that was in at the moment. And I had to kind of suppress that a little bit because I didn't want them to, take A-Box any further out than I was ready for at that moment. But I saved my screamy stuff for the Diary. So this is one of my favorite songs on the Diary, my personal favorites. More on the punky side. This is called Degenerate. I don't know what did I do with that stupid tape thing? Hold on one second. I promise I won't go away too long. Or I don't know what I'm doing here. We could use that one, even though it's not an A-Box thing, but I lost my tape. Oh, I had such a cool thing there. Degenerate. Yeah, degenerate. So you can see the screamy nature, right? The screaminess of, you know, that other alter ego that I had going on at the time. That was mad, just mad at things that were going on, normal, everyday things, not like this worldwide crazy fucking thing that's going on right now. That's a whole other level of angry. But that was at the time, my way of dealing with it. And then time passed, of course, and from Hope, obviously, we moved on and started to do other things. And I don't want to talk about Electrodelica too much because there's going to be a show that's going to be, I think I'm going to dedicate one to it because there's a lot of cool stuff about Electrodelica that you should know. But one thing in particular was that by the time it came time to record Electrodelica, Danya had left. And that kind of put me into a weird tailspin because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, well, now it's just me and Paul and possibly Gary. And so you're looking at the tail end of, I don't know, I want to say 93, 94-ish. And then, all this weird stuff was going to happen. I'm sure I've got the timeline wrong, but that's okay. But the picture that I'm trying to paint here is that um, when it came time to record Electrodelica, I still had some of that, diary-esque insides going on. And we basically absorbed the diary. So Electrodelica has a bit of the diary in it because we just absorbed it. It was like, I'm not gonna care about what people think about this stuff anymore. Which leads me to one of the things that I was going to talk about tonight, which was, let's turn on the light for this because we need Professor Claude. We need Professor Claude for this. I should have my glasses on and notes. But I get these funny emails once in a blue moon, and they go something like this. Hey, I love Anything Box. I like what you're doing. I'm struggling because I just formed a band and I want to get signed and I want to get out there and I want to tour and I want to do all that stuff and give me some advice. Tell me how to make it. I want to learn how to make it. And if you've been watching these Quarren streams, then you should know that emailing me with the how can I get signed part in your subject line isn't going to win any awards with me. So I'm going to tell you how to make it. I'm going to give you the formula. It's very easy, actually. It's a very simple formula. It worked in the 60s. It worked in the 70s. It works in the 80s. It still works in the 2000s. This is how you make it. You make the music you want to make exactly how you want to make it for yourself. Okay? For yourself. Meaning that you love it. You want to make it. And when you're really happy with what you're doing, give some of that stuff to your friends. That's part 2 of making it. Part 3 is if you have a full-time job or a part-time job or any kind of job, or you're living at home and your parents have money, however it is you want to financially figure that part out. Don't buy new sneakers. Don't indulge in the latest iPhone. Do not spend your money on frivolous things. Put that money into your band. That means the better gear that I need, the stuff that I'm going to need to promote myself, the stuff that I'm going to need to put a record out, the $100 or $200 that I'm going to pay my friend to do my social media for me if I'm not comfortable doing it, that all that stuff. The $700 you're going to put into an iPhone, put that instead into some online classes on producing, on marketing, on web design, all these other things that are going to help you. And if you do get an iPhone, and that's like something you must do, like I have to have an iPhone, oh my God, I've got to. Okay, if you have to have an iPhone, then use that thing well. Learn how to be a marketing person on Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. These are the things that will eventually help you make it. Now, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean if you've made it? Well, the misnomer is that if you've made it, you're famous. And that's nice. I know what that feels like. And okay, that's nice. But that's never going to satisfy you in the end. So that's why I'm saying the music that you make, the stuff that you're doing, the first motivation has to be that it's for you. If it's not for you, then there's the other route. So I'm going to explain what the other route is. The other route to making it is that you will have to hunt, and I mean the like a ghost haunts a house, you will have to haunt the record companies, meaning that they're going to have to be aware of you. And how do they become aware of you? You have to get your song played somewhere. You're going to have to get an audience. You're going to have to do gigs. You're going to have to do a lot of releases for them to notice you. And when they've noticed you, then they'll offer you a contract that basically takes everything away from you, and you're going to sell your soul for that contract, a little bit of money, and hopefully you get famous enough to buy yourself a house on the hill made of glass, and you get your iPhone 13, 14, and 15 and everything else you need, and then you're happy, maybe. So that's the other route. But I don't think that that's the right route. Okay, so I'm answering this mass email that I get all the time. I'm going to put it in the, yeah, Mikey just said, get it played on Z100 in New York. So a lot of those, we're in a time where in reality, think about it. Do you really need to know how to set up a website? No, because you could use WordPress, or you can just do a Facebook page or an Instagram page and use that as your main base if you really want to. Do you really need fancy stuff to do videos? No, TikTok has proven, although, we'll see if TikTok is around on Monday, but that's another story. But TikTok has proven that all you have to do is dance in front of a camera for about 7 seconds and you can be famous. So making videos for MTV is not a big deal anymore. So you don't have to make really expensive music videos. You can do it with an Android. So there's a lot of elements that in this day and age, you have at your disposal. So one of the things I can't stand, and I'm sorry, this is where my patience wears thin. I don't like it when they say, I don't know how to find resources. Man, there's besides the most obvious search engines, YouTube is the greatest search engine in the world. So there isn't anything you couldn't learn how to do, whether it's production, recording, how to put a mic up in front of someone, how to not to put a mic in front of someone. I messed that up too. So there's a lot of ways to approach it. Okay. But got off on a tangent there. So I'm going to look at your questions. I'm going to read your questions. But I'm going to play you a song that came at the tail end of, it's somewhere between Electrodelica and Universe. It's really gothy, and it kind of led me to the idea that I was going to probably record another Diary album. So I'm going to play that demo, and then I'll come back. Although I really wish I could find this stupid little video that I had, but I don't know where it is. That's the overhead. Oh, okay. That'll do. This song is called The Way Dreams Used to Be.
Every day I feel pain. I can't hear you once again. You know why I'm on fire, and it can't be long. I can't see what you see. I won't ever say my name. You won't feel any way, and I hurt. Do you remember what it's wrong? I see your face. I know my feeling is betrayed. I guess tonight I see your mind fade to frame, and I can't. I see your mind and fade to frames, covering.
Yeah, so that demo, that little song right there, that snippet, started to lead me into different territories. But what got me to record the second Diary album was a really strange event. my daughter, Jessie, for Christmas, she wanted a drum set. She wanted a real acoustic drum set. And, you know, I thought it over and we decided, okay, we're going to get you a drum set. I had this funny suspicion she wasn't going to really sit and play it all the time, but we got it. I decided to get a nice, semi-nice set. It was a Mapex set. And we set it up in the studio. And of course, you know, I was going to play it every night that I was in the studio. So I would play in that room and just try to drum for, God, hours on end. And I'm not joking. I wish I could, I should have screen captured it, but hold on. I'll come right back. I'm just going to look at this file. I just want to see it for myself. Then I can tell you how many, I don't know. Where's my library? Yes, I have a library. Never when you need it, right? There it is. Okay. Geez Louise. Okay. So in that folder, I have made roughly 1,224 recordings of just drums. And that's just me playing drums every Sunday. That was my Sunday, what I used to call the Sunday sessions. And I'm looking up and I shouldn't be. Hold on. Ah, sorry. Focus. I'm just being nerdy on purpose. So, no, I'm kidding. So, you'd think I'm on something, but I'm not. But I'm feeling better because I'm on this quarantine stream. I wasn't gonna do it tonight. I was gonna actually I swear to God, there was a part of me that didn't want to do it because I've had such a weird week. But yeah, it's over 1,000 files. What that really means is that I would go in there, mic everything up, play drums for about 2 hours, edit, cut, and eventually I wound up with certain loops and certain things that I was like, this is a song, you know what I mean? And then that led to the Diaries' second album, which is, hold on, clickety-poo, it's this one, which I don't think we need to see the tape. There we go. So there it is, the Diary, separate. A reaction to 9/11 and the rise of surveillance in the modern world. Oh, man. The rise of the surveillance. Well, so sometimes when I get really political, and you see me do it, I am on this tendency now to not be so political because I feel like the issues that I have more to do with human beings, human issues, not political issues. So it's not a red versus blue or type of thing with me. It's always a human right type of thing, like what's my human right? So after 9/11, when the Patriot Act became a reality in the United States, we entered into what is known as a surveillance state. I saw or heard of an article today that Facebook is being sued, by the way, for turning on the webcam on users on Instagram and watching them as they're posting. Like they got caught doing this. So that's crazy talk. I thought that stuff was all like conspiracy, but apparently not because they're being sued. So, yeah, we started to enter into a surveillance phase of, of things. And that brought out the angry Claude again. And so I recorded Separate, which was a very huge, reaction or reactionism to what I was seeing happening. Now, I could never have predicted that it was going to get to the point where we're at right now, where almost anything can be censored just because someone doesn't like it. So to me, that's a really scary, slippery slope. But it started around 9/11. After 9/11, I should say. So I'm going to play two songs from, actually maybe three, from Separate. So I'm going to play My Weakness is Your Illusion. And my friend Denise on Facebook just said, they're watching us right now. Hi, Facebook. Yes, they are watching me. But they're going to be really bored or really mad at me because in the next segment, I'm going to show you how to set yourself free from all this stuff. But the activist in me is coming out. But anyway, this song is called My Weakness is Your Illusion, Facebook. It sure is.
Useless second thoughts cloud my mind. I will show you thanks so you won't bite. Faithless on the tip, I don't care about the way the world moves on and on and on. You just take a rest and I won't mind. You give me fever and it makes me blind. I won't spend another dime on what you sell to me. Give myself away from time to time. I had some friends that I called mine, but you will never see what it's like to lose yourself within. Can you read my mind? And you'll understand my weakness is your illusion. My weakness is your intent. My weakness is your illusion. My weakness is your intent. Can you read my mind? And you'll understand. Give myself away from time to time. I had some friends that I call mine, but you will never see what it's like to lose yourself within. You have hardships I don't need. Show me everything what you please. All I need is empathy for who I want to be.
And I have to apologize to Fega because I played the wrong song, so the riff isn't there. But since I'm not going to play that song, I'm just going to sing the riff, and I want to see which one of you figures it out. But there's a Diary song at the end that starts with this riff that goes dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I wish I had some pisco sour, Lalo. Oh my God, I am funny tonight. So it gets me in that mood, you know? So yeah, that was My Weakness is Your Illusion from Separate. And one of the funniest things that, I mean, Paul's not here and Dave, my friend Dave's not here so that we could have our banter, but we used to have these weird talks late at night when they would come over to the studio and listen to stuff, and I would be like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm working on. And I have to say that by the time this album was midway through, Dave introduced me to his friend named Sandra. She joined the band and became the drummer in Anything Box for a short period of time. And there was talk of literally like, let's go out as the Diary, and Dave was going to play bass or guitar, and I was going to sing, and Sandra was going to do drums, and all we needed was a bass player. And so it was really close. That was the closest that I ever came to actually having that happen. But anyway, I digress. We were sitting around late at night, and we were talking about the surveillance state and the state of affairs at that moment in time. And this is what, 2004, 2005 by now. And I said what would be fun is if we could put our own satellite up on Earth and beam down our own messages. And then, you know, if it was a pirate satellite, you know, just like the Clash, right? If we had our own pirate satellite, we could actually just... So at that time, video on the web was new, so starting a YouTube channel, even though YouTube was already, technically speaking, it was out, it was very slow and not anything like it is today. So I didn't realize that that could have been the right channel. So had I really pushed for YouTube in the very beginning, and that's like a regret of mine, had I done it from the start, I think that would have been a good thing. But that didn't happen. But doesn't mean it's not too late, obviously, you know. But so I'm gonna play the next one from that album. This is called Communication Derevolution. And this is one of my favorite ones on this particular album. So sorry for the punkiness of tonight, but I hope it's shaking things up in your living room. Coming to your living room. I don't forget the words. I was mumbling. This is Radio Claude on Pirate Satellite. Yeah, something like that. Oh, and this is Dave on drums.
Cycles all around. The Delta 2000 third is on the ground. Depression, regression, feels like the dream's been sold out. A revolution, shoot up a satellite. Communication breakdown now goes on. Mother watches her son die on TV. The satellite feeds war like an enemy. Who won the Oscars and why should you care less? Talk about the lost one, blood is sped. I see it, I Why should you care when they come down for you? A revolution, shoot up a satellite.
Here's the riff.
Communication breakdown now goes on. I am the enemy. I'm not on TV, but I know how they pull the strings. A revolution, shoot up a satellite. Communication breakdown now goes on. A revolution, shoot up a satellite. Communication breakdown now goes on. Communication, the revolution. Communication, the revolution. Communication, the revolution starts today.
I should have isolated the riff. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Is from Safety Dance. Only I would have thought of taking, like, recreating the Safety Dance riff and turning it into a punk rock song. But that's what it was. Not sampled, but I played it. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. 'Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. Anyway. I say. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. So, yeah, that record was, like, as Steve said, those were some long nights, man. But I really enjoyed recording that album because it was a different experience to, like, have a drum set and then to play a real bass and, real guitars, and it's like this craziness of, like, making a record done that way. And by the way, that was an album that was recorded on the weirdest piece of software. It was the very first true computer recording that I ever did. And that one was actually recorded on Sony Acid Pro. I don't want people to mistake this the wrong way and say, he said he recorded that album on Acid. Not like as if I was on Acid. I recorded it on a software program called Acid. But, which was a multi-tracker, but that was my first real messing around with a multi-track. And from there, it was over, because, from there, it was like, no, this is the future. Everything's going to be done that way. So that was Communication De-Revolution. And, I kind of thought that was it for the diary, because the other side of the diary, the more electronic-y side, had been absorbed. I knew that Anything Box wasn't going to go and record with real drums, right? Like, we weren't going to do that, right? Like, that wasn't going to happen. And yet, it did happen. So, if you ever heard the effects of stereo TV, then you realize that A-Box did eventually have some real drums in it. And talk about a deviation from your normal path, right? But I digress. So now I'm going to talk about something else. Let's see, where was that? That weird. So, yeah, separate. Ooh, oh, God, this. Yeah, we'll talk about that too in a second. But incidentally, this is just a quick plug. If you're wondering where all the because someone asked earlier where all the remixes that I've been playing that are unreleased. It's it's a bit up in the air because on the one hand, some of them I can't put on Spotify because if I do, they get flagged and it becomes a problem. So the only way that I could put some of those remixes out is going to be Bandcamp. So I'm trying to figure that out because there's a lot of them. I've actually thought about another mixology, but I'm trying to think future releases, um, meaning I'm going to use a word that I haven't used in a while, and everyone's going to like fall on their on from their living room chairs thinking about this. Vinyl. So I'm going to talk about vinyl for a second. Um, I haven't ruled out vinyl, but in order for that to work, I have to plan ahead, meaning that if I'm going to do vinyl and I do mixology, it can't be a 2 hour thing because that means the vinyl for that would have to be a 3 album set. So you're going to see that a lot of the newer things that I put on Bandcamp are going to be limited to about 33 to 36 minutes. The idea being that if vinyl does happen, those releases can very easily be moved from their digital format into vinyl. So I feel like that might happen. I'm not saying it will happen, because as of this episode, I can tell you that Worth is still up in the air on vinyl. We haven't quite decided what's going to happen with that yet. Um, some of the remixes that are from Hope, obviously, those will wind up on Spotify, so that's not a problem. But anything peace related, um, I kind of have to, it's going to have to be on Bandcamp for now. So I am going to do it. Um, it's just that a lot of things are happening, so it's not as easy as it seems. And I've been writing new material, which is another interesting thing to talk about, but I'll not talk about that just yet. But before I get into the third diary album, um, uh, what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say because it probably wasn't important, you see. Um, anyway, I'm being funny. But I'm looking at the comments here. Well, me personally, I'm trying to watch on all the platforms, which is really hard, but I can actually see the chats on all the platforms. So at least, yes, keep asking questions. I'll answer them. So a couple of different releases that I'm on, but they're not directly related to NPOP. So there's the tribute, the Anything Box tribute album, which if someone has the link, well, there's no link yet because it's not out yet, but that's probably going to be on Bandcamp as well. But I don't know that it's going to be on the Anything Box Bandcamp, but I'm really excited about that. So I need to start working on artwork bits for that. Um, so that's going to take up some time. So be patient. I do have some ideas about assets and things of that nature. I have to think about these things because as the year winds down, um, I hope you guys realize I am not gigging or working for a living at the moment. There's no gigs for me, so I'm at stage 4 or 5, and we're barely at stage 2, and they're even thinking of going back now. So 2020 is what it is, but at least I've got new material, right? But yeah, I am going to do the remixes, and there's a bunch of stuff coming. I swear, there's a lot of stuff coming. Um, here's something. So here's a funny thing. Can you see this? Hold on. I'll show you something funny. So I got a capture device. And the reason that I bought a capture device is that I dug out all the VHSs out of the garage. So I'm going through those too. So I'm going to be looking at even rarer things that might be in there that might be on video that aren't even on tape. So some of that stuff might be good for the remixes and, and all that good stuff. But I'm trying to figure it out so that at least within the next week or two, you'll see some of those 12 inches I've played on the show. They'll show up on Bandcamp. So I hope that's good news. In other news, since we were talking about surveillance states and that kind of thing, very recently I've started to get into cryptocurrency. So yes, I can't say I own an entire Bitcoin, but I have Bitcoin and I have Ethereum. And I'm actually getting into this a lot because I'm looking at the future of the blockchain technology being used on the music industry side. And there's some really interesting things happening on that front. So not a lot of things that I can talk about today per se, but I'm going to tell you this. The time to get into that stuff is right now. So not that I'm a financial advisor or anything like that, but I would say now is the time. Like if you were thinking about doing it before, this is the time. Again, put off buying that new iPhone or whatever new gadget you're thinking about and put some money into crypto. Keep it. There's some interesting things coming down the pike with regards to crypto. So among them is I've joined a couple sites that are going to be more art related. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to play a song. So this song was a song that was actually recorded in my car. One night I had come home, and I'm going to show you this too. This is my little portable recorder, which is one of my favorite pieces of gear. I just want you to know that this little thing is actually one of my favorite pieces of gear in this entire room. This little device is a 24-bit recorder and a very good one. And one night I came home, and while just sitting in the car, I decided to just pop out a song, and I recorded it. And I had just watched a documentary on Daniel Johnston, which I love. Steve knows I love Daniel Johnston. And that led me on this path to listen to some really old-time blues. So for whatever reason, I was in that mode. And this was leading up to recording distances, but I wasn't quite ready to get back into electronics just yet. So anyway, I'm going to play you the song that I wrote in my car. And I'll come back. You lit the fire, and my heart it is burning. I taste your lips, they are sweetened by the yearning. I breathe your picture, and your eyes are a fury. They bring on the fever, and my skin heats the air. Just how far can I go on this way? Just how far can we hold these flames at bay? I lit a candle, and it flickers and flutters. The dancing flames of your stares, it reminds me. I kiss your lips, the sensation ephemeral, as the fire consumes me whole. Just how far can I go on this way? Just how far Can we hold these flames at bay? You lit the fire, and my heart it is burning. I taste your lips, they are sweetened by your yearning. I breathe your picture, and your eyes are a fury. They bring on the fever, and my skin heats the air. So that was recorded in my car. And then I realized that with this little recorder and my guitars, my, little crappy ones, because I don't have really good guitars. I just have, mine are all tend to be broken, weird guitars. And I just like them. So I decided I want to record an old time blues, but I just saw someone's comment said just like David Gahan recorded with Soul Savers. No, because they still went into a studio. They still did all their mic setups and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to do any of that. What I wanted to do was to do it the way the old blues people were doing it. I didn't want George Thorogood with 20-piece band playing, dun, 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 or dun, 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 or, that kind of stuff. And, machines and all, none of that. What I wanted was old-time porch-style blues, meaning all there is a recorder, the guy with a guitar, you go for it, that's it. The only trick, if you want to call it a trick, that I played was that by then I was doing mastering, of course, so I could say, well, I wanted to sound older. I wanted to age it more, so I could take the recording and make it sound older. I could take the recording and manipulate it a little bit once it was done, but there was no overdubs. There were no backing vocal tricks, nothing like that with this record. It was strictly real, let's sit down, 1, 2, 3, 4 blues. So I'm going to play one from the album. This is called Ebony, or Ebony Blues. And I'll come back and then I'm going to play a video for you. That's kind of weird. But anyway, it's the moon. It's perfect for this. Have you seen the darkness? Has it swallowed you? Have you seen the darkness? I thought I saw you there. You think that it loves you, but it just won't. can even hear the traffic noise when it ends. But the other thing that I did that was kind of, I thought it was cheesy, a cheesy thing to do at the time, but I've grown to like it that way, is I took records that I liked from vinyl, and I took a lot of crackle and weird bits and I added it into the recording. And there's a really, like, if you actually listen to the album, there's bits where it sounds like there's a backing vocal, and in actuality, what I did was something really weird, which was um, I took the entire recording, put it through this weird, massive reverb, took the reverb, reversed the reverb, and fed it back into the recording, and it became like these weird ghost-like backing vocals. So instead of having to do overdubs, that was a way of making the sound a little bigger. So on some of those tracks, it's a pretty weird record. I have to say, it's a really odd album. So it's a very dark side of, yeah, someone just said it, the dark side of Claude. Someone else called me Claude Schwab. I love that. You don't even know. But anyway, so yeah, I was going to record this record, and Steve brought up an interesting thing, which was about the flood. So I lived in an apartment slash townhouse that was in Fullerton, and it wound up having this horrendous leak in the upstairs floor, which actually caused us to have to move out. Like, we were literally evicted to make room for, they were going to tear down this house and start over, basically, because of this particular hole. There was no way to really fix it and us come back. So, but the story is that one evening, I came home to find that the studio was flooded, and a lot of the tapes were destroyed. If you're wondering why, for example, I didn't bring up any notebooks that have like notes on the Diary album, or, you know, like recording dates and things like that, is because some of those were all destroyed, because that was the time. So a lot of that stuff was destroyed. A lot of the equipment got ruined. So when I moved to the new place, it was a smaller place, and I honestly was really depressed about it, and I didn't know like how I was ever going to make this little apartment work as a studio. And I'm not even talking about this one. This is even smaller in a weird way. But so when I moved, the drum set couldn't go with me. The piano couldn't go with me, so I had to give up the piano, the drum set. Although the piano was kind of damaged. So even though I was writing material for Distances, I wasn't ready to record any of it. And so working on 7 Sleepless Nights, which is this record that I'm playing, this one right here, that's the one we're talking about, a record that was never intended to be recorded. When I was doing this one, I honestly did not know what was going to happen next. So I thought, at least this is easy. Turn on the recorder, do some recording, and, you know, that's it. Never even thought about the idea that I was going to re-record the songs or anything of the sort. But it wound up being cool, and I enjoyed the process. So I'm going to play a cover that I did on that album. And then I'll come back, because that's what I do. Oh, God. Ay, ay, ay. What am I doing? Oh, it's the moon again. I think we can turn off the moon right now. So this is called You Know My Name. Now look up the number. funny one. The funny thing is that you can actually hear when it starts, you hear this weird like white noise and all this weird stuff happening. And it was because in the room that I was recording, the actual the sprinklers went on outside, and it's like, and I thought it was hilarious at the time that I was doing it, but I kept going. And then you could hear some people talking, and I think it was a girl talking to another girl saying something about how her boyfriend had just gotten out of jail. And you can barely hear them, but it's because, of course, I went in and, you know, had to frequency mask a lot of stuff to get rid of it. But the sprinkler sound I kept because it just sounds weird when it first starts, like you hear. So I like that kind of stuff. So this next one is from the album too. This is called The Moth, but I'm working on a little film that is for a particular site that has to do with this crypto art thing. So I'm going to explain. There are certain sites that are using art in the blockchain. So in other words, where I can sell crypto art, and you know, digital art and real art is changing. So this is one of those things I wanted to get into, and one of them asked me to make a film. So I thought I would make a film of one of the paintings that I've done, and I put it to this particular song because the words just make sense. This is literally how I was feeling when I was recording this album. So if any song at all on that album captures the feeling of what I was going through, it's this next one. And you get to see me make a painting in the process because I filmed this week. So I'm going to play that video and then I'll come back. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Yeah, that's not it.
Surrounded by pictures that I don't understand.
yeah, I was trying to film myself as I'm doing some art, and I think I'm going to do more of that, especially with the more crazier, complex pieces, because I think people just think I just throw stuff, and it's not that simple. Uh, but I wish it were that simple. Imagine just throw stuff. No, every little mark. I mean this. Every little mark means something. If I've actually torn up drawings because the smudge is there because my finger put it there, and it's not because I wanted it there. So if, I'm telling you, down to the last smudge, it has to be something I meant to put there. It's not just random as people think it is. It's not. Um, uh, Someone said I saw the image of a man in a hat. Um, yeah, Facebook probably took me down already. They're like, you play too much music. Ah, but I digress. But so yeah, blues. I still love them, and I still, on occasion, feel like I want to play something, and it's harder. It's harder to get into that mode because, like everything else, I have modes, and right now my focus is very, very electronic. But I have to tell you, there was a lesson that I learned from working on this album that I didn't get for distances. Distances was very difficult because I was in a small room. I was writing the material there. I was trying to record it there. That wasn't always the best. I can tell you that there was a lot of interrupted recordings. There was a lot of issues with recording. Um, and ever since, I've always felt that um, I really despise recording with headphones on. Like, I don't like it. I don't like recording vocals with headphones on at all. Um, so, for example, I think I posted today that I solved a particular problem. So I'm going to tell you what I solved. So, for the last couple of weeks, I've been going to a park and I've been recording my demos in the park. Number one, the, the great thing that happened there was by turning on the microphone at the park, even though it was a crappy mic, um, what I was able to do was to capture ambience. So it was like ambient sound. So now, when I was working on demos in the park, they're real demos. They're not the actual recordings because obviously they're too noisy and I'm singing through headphones, which I hate. But what was interesting to me was the ability to get them done fast. So as of right now, I have 32 of those, which is pretty amazing for me. Like I don't know that I've recorded that many in a year. So I can't say that 2020 was bad for that side of it. So these 32 demos, what I'm going to do now is now I can extrapolate and I'm going to take parts of this song, make the full song in this studio and do that. But now I know that when I go to record the actual vocal, I'm actually going to go back out to the park or somewhere else, and I'm going to take my portable rigs with me, and I'm going to record the vocals live outdoors. And I think I've solved this problem. What I'm thinking of doing, which is kind of funny, is I think I'm going to get a battery-powered studio monitor. And basically, I'm going to have it rigged up so that I can hear myself coming out. The monitor is literally going to come out of the back of the car. I will have the microphone set up so I can hear myself, and I will be able to record. And I'll probably do that in a very crazy, desolate places. And that's where I think I'm going to start recording the next anything box stuff. And the other side of this is that I found out that all the rehearsal halls that I used to do rehearsals in are now open, which is great. That was actually the best news I got today, which means that I can now go rehearse proper in a real room with real volume, and I can, go do rehearsals, A-box rehearsals. So even though there's no gigs, I may be able to do a stream from there again. So then I can actually do rehearsals, which I haven't been able to do in this room. This room is great for doing, writing and voiceover work and that kind of thing. But to actually sing in this room and have volume, I can't do it because the neighbors, it doesn't work. So sorry, I'm all over the place. But I'm thinking about filming those things. So if however it winds up happening, expect the weirdness to continue, because some of these songs, I'm really liking them. They're really out there. The best way that I can describe it is like, imagine Boards of Canada with vocals, because that's really what it sounds like to me, but it's really out there. Like, some of that stuff is really, really atmospheric, but I'm really enjoying it. It's not to say that there won't be dance stuff in there. I can't promise that there will be, but it's kind of where my headspace is at. So anyway, I will do more demos from the studio like I did the other day, but I really don't like doing them from the studio. I like the ones that I've been doing in the park. They're just cool. So I'm enjoying that. So anyway, oh my God. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed yourselves, and that you enjoyed this outer excursion. Someone said, I have a big empty house that needs some artwork. Yes, I know, Steve. I could go record vocals at your place if I can turn up the speaker. Who knows? Maybe that'll be a week I spend up in Florida recording vocals at Steve's house. Well, here's a funny thought. I'm going to leave you with this funny thought before I play the last song, but one of the ideas I got, hold on. Let me actually show you. I'll play a song and I'll go grab my notebook. So we'll get an extra song out of it. Hold on. Crap. I didn't plan on that. Okay, I'll play Old Soul. Here we go. I think there's something here. Yeah, okay, that'll do. I'm just an old soul, making my way back home. I'm just an old soul, trapped in the quantum codes. That's why I'm in the smile lift the veil that hides the light that guides my way, and gets me through the darkness. I'm just an old soul. I'm just an old soul. I'm just an old soul living in the new world. So yeah, I was showing you my diagrams. So what I wrote, and I thought it was really like a funny idea. This is like, so this goes back to the youngins, right? Where they're like, how to make it. This is how you make it. You do interesting things with your life. So what I was thinking was, if I have a battery powered speaker and I stick it in the hatchback of my car, so like that's my little crude drawing on. Sorry. So if I stick the speaker in the back of the car, right? I thought, you know what would be funny? I could just show up at somebody's house and just literally record a song on their outside their house, like in their garage or like outside on their street, or something. And the reason why I think that's a cool idea is because I love the idea, like, I don't know if you understand this, but this microphone that I'm using is actually really good at rejection. You can't hear all the other noises that are outside. They have to be really loud for this microphone to pick it up. So my idea was that I would take this microphone and go with an interface that has DSP built into it so that my mic preamp, my compression, all that stuff that I would need to record a good vocal is self-contained. So I can record anywhere and then come home and mix here, which is, mixing in headphones I do love and I can do it. But so I've solved the vocal recording problem. And if not that, I can go record vocals at my favorite rehearsal halls now. So that problem is solved, which means I am now ready to start working on material. And that's going to make me a very happy person. Can't say that anything's going to come out in 2020. I actually, aside from the remixes and things, I don't think so. But it sets up the future nicely, at least for the releases. So that's good news on my side. And with that, we are done for the night. And I'm going to play the last song. It's going to be from page 1. So we're going to wind up where we started. And I meant to do this earlier. Hold on 1 second, because someone asked me this question. The links. No. So I just put the links up. So, obviously you can support me on Bandcamp. And I have some releases up on there that you can grab. But I also posted the link to Amazon, which is where you can get all the A-Box releases that you don't have. And that's good support. It does come to me. And also, obviously, Spotify and all that stuff is great. As long as you keep it on repeat, that helps. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there will be more releases coming, a lot of stuff. I'm not anywhere near stopping right now. Like I said, thinking back, like today when I was going over just the demos and I realized that I'm actually up to 32. I can't even believe it. But I'm fleshing all the songs out. So obviously they're not all going to make the cut, but what I like is that I can pick and choose and mix and match because, sometimes the lyrics from one thing will pop out into something else. And so that part makes me happy. But if there's no gigs for next year, I may do a contest where I drive up to your house and I record a song in front of your house in Jane. So let's see how that works. And if not, you'll get to see me film some of that stuff because I'm going to do a lot more filming and painting, man. If you only knew how much stuff I've been doing. So it's just hard to keep up with it all, but that's all I have time right now. So while I have time, and right now, while the bills are paid, I'm just going to keep creating stuff. Now, if I go homeless by mid next year, that's a different story. Then I'll be living in Jane. So I might as well have something that I can record in. I'm laughing, but, one never knows, right? But obviously, that's not, I'm hoping that's not the case. But my attitude is good, as you can see. I'm not that worried about it. I got a feeling we're going to be okay, but it's rough right now. It's rough for everyone, so. Anyway, here's the last song of the night. I'm going to play a song from page 1, and after that, I will bid you all good night. I think for this one, we definitely need the moon, so I'm going to go back to, I think I'm popping the moon back up. Yeah, we need the moon for this. Where is my moon? There you are, moon. Yeah, we need the moon. This is called All Dreams Must End. And with that, I bid you good night.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?